Hi everyone, welcome back to another scrapbook layout video and welcome back to another month of For the Love of Crafting and Sharing. I have something new today and I'm going to tell you right now, I fell in love with this right away. So this month's prompt is about die cuts, whether you use pre-made die cuts, make your own die cuts, anything. So I thought I would try this. Michelle from my little scrapbook store sent me this. I will leave a link. I will leave a couple links below. She doesn't probably have this up. She's changing over websites right now, so she might not have this up on her website yet, but when I can add it, I will. So, but I am crazy about these things. I'm super happy that I gave these a try. I was talking with her and we weren't sure how people would really like these, but I'm going to tell you, I love this page. So basically, this is like a pre-made title or something that you could cut out with, that a lot of people buy the digital file for and cut out. And I have digital files that I've purchased for backgrounds and stuff, but I never use them. I'm just too lazy. So I'm only going to show you the F. And then I'm going to show you the Y. I'm going to come back a few times here, but you won't have to sit here and watch me. But what it has, you can see, I cut apart this F, and it comes with all the letters and all the shapes that you need to cut apart over. And it's like about the size of a typewriter piece of paper, just a scratch paper. So you cut those out, and then they're like perfectly sized. You can glue them straight to the back. So here I am cutting along the black lines of the F. The first time I cut outside of the black line, which I brought it up to the camera to show you. Second time, I got like a 2 or 3 into it, and then I realized I don't even have to be that exact, that's what I'm going to show you with the Y, is the first time you cut it, you don't even have to cut it that exact. So, and then you cut it and you just add a little bit of glue to the back and voila, look at that. This was so fun. I'm showing you there on a darker piece of paper so that it will actually show up. So here's what I mean with the Y. I got to the point where I'm like, I don't need to cut the first letter too fancily. So as long as when I'm cutting the patterned paper, I cut along the line, and it works perfect. So that saved me a little bit of time as well. So now I'm going to cut along the lines again, same thing. If you have any questions, let me know below. But the hardest part about this was figuring out what patterns to go where. So now on their example on the package, they left this part here, but you can make it. They've actually left this. So you can have the M go in front of the A, or the A go in front of the M, which is what I chose to do, or you can leave it and have them both go. So there you can see I cut that little extra white part off, and now it just looks like the A is in front of the M. That's optional. You could just leave the extra white line on the sample, the package that comes with the sample, they left the white line there. Or you can add even a third pattern in between the 2 letters if you wanted. So now the only thing, and this was user error, this is not them at all. If I was paying attention, I cut out the middle of the A and not realizing that the die cut doesn't have the middle of the A. If it does, I guess I didn't even think to look. I don't think it does. I didn't search in the packaging anymore, but I don't think it does. But I just took some of my white peel-offs and kind of made it look like it was white around the A. They are a little shiny, but once the page is done, you don't even really notice. And so I'm trying to remember everything I wanted to tell you about these. These are awesome. And this video is going to go up after my live for my little scrapbook store. And I will be using this again for my live. I might actually even try to take one of these titles and make them into a shaker because everything's already pre-cut. I think that would be super easy. But I'm going to leave links below to these, and it's from Bella Boulevard and they have tons of them. So this package came with like family, this is us, friends, and then I have Halloween ones that I'm going to be using. So click on the links below if you want to get some of these. They are so much fun. I think that's all I have to really say about the die cut itself, but it was really, really easy. So if you've always liked the look, but you either don't have a die cut machine or you're kind of lazy like me, don't want to take the time, then this worked really well. So now this picture, I wasn't sure. I actually tried choosing between a couple different collections. I really liked it with these colors, but I finally just decided to go with this. I had another collection pulled out, but I wasn't sure. So now I'm trying to find a background. I don't need a whole lot because I know that I'm going to add a bunch of florals. I couldn't decide if I wanted to use it on that floral wreath paper. That was kind of a harder decision, but in the end, I didn't like how the word family kind of fit in among the wreath. It just looked a little too busy to me. So I decided I'm just going to mat the photo, a simple mat, one picture, one photo mat. Originally, when I did this, I thought maybe I'd give it a couple photo mats, but I think that I was fine just doing this. And I like this dark blue color, which you probably saw me. I mounted the entire layout on so far. So the white cardstock I cut down and I mounted it on. And yes, I gutted the middle. I left that in there so you guys would know I gutted the middle to use somewhere else. If it's a paper I don't really care for, I won't worry about gutting the middle because I have plenty. We all have plenty of paper, right? But this one I went ahead and gutted. So I also took out the process. I did go and I used up a bunch of those little foam tape squares that I just want to be done with. And so I just covered the back of the word family. So it is popped up on some foam tape right now. I haven't glued anything down because I kind of wanted to play around with what I figured is I would make clusters of flowers because that's one of the best things about this collection is all the cool flowers. So I'm going to put it there and I'm going to build my clusters a little bit more than I normally do. So I can play with where the flowers, since this is something new for me. And this layout actually went really quickly. I did try cutting out that the rainbow. I tried cutting out the rainbow and I didn't like it in that spot. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I was hoping there was somewhere I could use it, but it doesn't make it on the layout. So here's my flowers. And if you get this collection, I will try to leave a link below to it. Again, like I said, my little scrapbook store, their website is changing over. So a lot of things you can pre-order some things, but I will let you know when it's up as soon as I can. But if you get this collection and you like these flowers and the die cuts, I highly suggest getting 2 packs because that sheet was full. I think I've done 2, maybe 3 layouts. I can't even remember at this point. I want to say this is only my 2nd layout with this collection, and that die cut sheet you can see there where I put all my die cuts is completely empty. Oh yeah, one thing I will say, when I was putting the letters down to fussy cut around them, the little kind of prototype letters, whatever the word is, I just used a tiny bit of removable adhesive, and since it didn't sit on there very long, it was no problem, and I didn't push it down very hard, and I gently pulled it back up. So but if you didn't want to do it that way, you could just hold it while you cut it, or you could add the removable adhesive behind the parts, like when I got to the Y. I don't know if you noticed, but I put the removable adhesive behind the parts of the Y that would not be cut out and shown. So I did want to mention that. I forgot about that a few minutes ago. And now you can see I went ahead off camera again, and at this point my picture and the word family is glued down. I have gently put down the word family kind of in this area where I'm building the clusters, and then under the I and the L, because I know I want to tuck things underneath. And I'm going to build these clusters, and this is going to be, look at these flowers. They are so gorgeous. I'm in love with them. I did cut that Remember This from the 6x8 pattern paper that they have. And because I don't know, I knew that I wanted that. I like how it's dark pink, and so it brings the dark pink from the A. I think maybe the only thing I'm not super crazy about is the yellow in the I of the word family. I struggled to which one I wanted to put there. Like I said, that was harder than cutting the letters out. I mean, the letters took less than like 20 seconds to cut out each. But So other than that, I kind of what I was going for, I didn't want a super pattern, but I was kind of going for, you can see the F is a floral, the A is more of a kind of a tone on tone, the M is a pattern paper, and then the I is kind of a tone on tone, and then the L is pattern paper, and Y is tone on tone. So that's kind of what I was trying to stay with that. And the yellow, I actually cut that I out of 3 different pattern papers, and it was the yellow that I liked the most. So now I'm building my clusters. You might see here, I have that little piece of the blue flower that I just cut. And I decided I'm not going to get rid of that little piece. I'm going to, right now it's just temporarily glued down to the very right of the photo, but it just looks like another flower is coming out from the cluster of the photo. So, and then I knew I wanted a third cluster, and I wanted it to go kind of around the word family at the bottom here. That gives a nice triangle across the page. And with a couple of these, I don't cut off the leaves up on the top right cluster. I didn't even notice until now that they kind of go over that blue paper. But I do cut down that yellow flower on the bottom, so it looks like that it ends, you know, at the bottom of the page. I do try to use the yellow, the piece that I cut off, just like I do the blue one, but I couldn't get it to, I had a little friend there, don't know if you noticed that. Not a little friend, an ant. Oh my gosh, the ants are driving me crazy. Yes, I know of the taro ant baits or whatever. I have those. But they're still, I don't know. I hate them. We've had them for years. So he got kicked out. He's not a star of this show. Anyways, I just am working with the clusters. I really tried to use this kind of leafy piece just to kind of make the clusters a little bigger, but it was almost too big compared to the flowers. So I display it in a bunch of different places, but it just doesn't make it. And the other thing I really kind of thought about doing, and you're going to see me play around with that as well, is continuing that flower cluster up into the space between the L and the Y. I just I couldn't tell if I liked it, and I'm going to go back and forth quite a few times. The other thing I'm going to play around with is I really wanted to try to use some of these butterflies, and I had pre-fussy cut some of the butterflies. My biggest thing, you can see there, I'm trying to still use up that yellow piece of flower that came off that bottom one, but it doesn't get used, and I tried it in every cluster. So the biggest thing, I think, if these butterflies had been smaller, I would have been able to use them, but I like that pink one there, but I didn't want to use it because it's the same color as that pink flower. And this blue one, I couldn't find a position that looked good to me at the time. And I don't know. I play around with quite a few of them. I believe these might all be ones that I previously fussy cut. I put this guy underneath the flower that I had originally popped up. I thought it might be kind of fun to have that flower go over the I and the L. And so I thought maybe these sticker ones would be smaller. I thought maybe if I tucked them in. But I think, again, it comes down to the color. Like, I don't mind the pink here, but this is the same pink as the one in the bottom, and I can't really get them to fit in there. I tried tucking them behind the flowers instead of on top of the flowers. I thought about, instead of adding any foam tape underneath their wings, I could just leave them flat. And I'm kind of leaving them there just for now to see what else. And then there is this rainbow, and I haven't used any of the rainbows, I don't think, really in this with this collection, and there is rainbows in the letter M, so I thought maybe I could make this work. And actually on screen that does look kind of cute, but I think what I don't like is the right hand side of it doesn't have something to land on, so it's not going to stay either. And then I'm going to play around a little bit more with the hearts. I accidentally bought 2 of these sticker sheets, so I'm definitely trying to use them up. So one of these sticker sheets comes in the collection pack, and one I purchased separately because I had forgotten that it comes in there with the collection pack. So there you can see I was trying to put a rainbow in by the L and the Y, and it didn't work, and going back to the butterflies. So now I knew that I wanted to add some words, and I thought I'm going to work on the words for right now because the butterflies and the rainbows weren't working for me. So going for the words, and then I go back to this cluster at the bottom. I can't get it to work there. So I believe what I end up doing is taking that blue flower and putting it on some foam tape that's not as tall and tucking it underneath the letters instead. And then the word loved is going to go kind of above that, and it will sit on the L and the I. So it looks a little bit better to me. And then I also have, don't forget, one thing I'm going to do with those word stickers is put some foam tape underneath some of them because there's dimension from the flowers. I used foam tape on some and not on others. So they kind of go crooked and back and forth. And so I put foam tape to kind of make them stable. Now this here is some liquid Stardust by Fawn. Again, I will leave a link below. And it's gorgeous. I've had this stuff, I want to say over a year, and I've never used it before. So this is what I'm doing right now is I'm trying it out, and I mix it with just a little bit of water, and I'm going to take a piece of scratch paper and sprinkle it on there or tap it on there, and look how gorgeous it is. I'm going to show you. Look, it just is absolutely gorgeous. So I do that around the page. I do try to keep it to a minimum with a little piece of plastic covering up. I was trying not to get it on the letters, but it does get on the letters a little bit, and I'm okay with that. It was my fault for not putting the letters or the stuff down before the letters. When I'm done with this, I'm going to add some sequins around. Oh, and this is just a cheap old water brush that I'm using. There is no water in it. It just was the first paintbrush I grabbed. And so I'm even trying to get it in between the letters there, which is why it kind of gets covered up or gets on the letters a little bit. Sorry about the black thing at the top of the screen. That is actually my phone holder getting ready for the live crops with my little scrapbook store this weekend. So then I went back and I did add a heart because I had added a heart previously into the top cluster and the left cluster. So I wanted a third heart to kind of bring that, so there's 3 of them. And then I'm going to stamp my date. So I have my roller date stamp. And first, originally, this is black ink. And I didn't want it to be that bold. So I thought maybe I could second generation stamp it. But then I thought, I've got gray right here. And I'm actually going to still second generation stamp it. But I'm glad that I still used the gray because it was a little bit lighter. Excuse me. This is where I pulled out the sequins. And I don't make you sit through me gluing down all the sequins. But I glue 3 in each cluster. I glue a pink one down, a blue one down, and kind of white, clear, sparkly one. These are part of the Cocoa Vanilla. They do sell these as well. So if you like these, originally I thought maybe I'd go with all white ones, but I changed my mind. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add some of these Nuvo Dream Drops in the Frosted Lake. And I just kind of little tiny drops all around in the clusters. I'm trying to show you here, get a good angle. And finally there I get a good angle, but turns out really, I love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out the links below if you're interested in the die cuts. And also don't forget to check the links below to follow along in the hop and watch everyone else's videos and what kind of die cuts they decide to use. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye.